So I want to make sure you're aware we do a TOD live chat every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. I'll put a link to it here. This is an opportunity for you as the consumer to join us and ask questions that we may not have covered within the review. We also have special guests that join us, such as brand managers, product developers, and even CEOs. So come join us and get your voices heard. All right, on with the show. Hey everyone, Walsh here from Thin Line Defense, and today I want to share with you one of the most ridiculous multi-target, multi-range, rapid engagement platforms I've ever put together, and the thing that makes it all possible is one of the most ridiculous 6.5 Creedmoor reticles I've ever seen. Today I'll be showing you how insane that reticle is with this review of the Primary Arms PLX 6x30 ACSS-APOLLO reticle for the 6.5 Creedmoor and the 224 Valkyrie. This thing is absolutely insane, and I can't wait to show you how it transforms the shooter into an absolute monster out on the range. But tell you what, let's unbox it, then we'll mount it, and then I'll go through the details of that reticle, and then we'll do a series of tests, and then finally we'll take it out to the range, and I'll show you what this thing can do. All right, let's do it. Wow, okay, so here's our box for our Primary Arms 6x30. It's just black with a logo. I love it. And here's our actual reticle. We're going to show you more about this. Let's get this thing out of here and see what all comes in here. Our little piece of foam. Okay, and then we have our instructions here. Here's all the table of contents. So it looks like there's a lot of good stuff in here. We're going to go through a lot of this in detail. Achieving a clear reticle picture. Make sure you do this. Actually adjust your diopter so you have a clear picture. How to adjust parallax. We'll go through all that. Reticle illumination, we'll look at that in detail when we pull everything out. Go through here how to establish the zero and how to set the zero return system. Again, we'll go through all these details as we look over the optic. More on setting the zero return. And here's the actual Apollo reticle. As I've said, I'll go into this in detail on every little bit and show you all the cool stuff that this thing does. This is where you need to set your zero for the various velocities that you may be firing, so pay attention to this for your zero. And here's how to use the outer section. Again, we'll go through all this, but that second to third mil increment is in tenth increments. Also, we're going to have our bullet compensation and wind holds, how to use the ranging ladder for both horizontal and vertical ranging. It shows you how to use all this right here. And here's how to use the actual ranging section in order to do the mathematics, in order to estimate the range with just a little bit of math here. It's pretty easy. Just look in this manual, learn how to do it. And here's the actual specifications and everything else that comes on the actual optic. And I don't know if there's much else in. Nope, just a bunch of notes, and that's about it. Alright, so let's see what all comes in the actual box. What do we got here? So inside here, okay, so we have our battery that we need for the illumination, and then our Allen key that we will use to adjust the zero on the actual scope. Alright, what do we have here? Oh, okay, so we have our sunshade. So this looks nice. Look at that. Nice, good finish on it. Looks perfect. Alright, let's get to the actual optic and get this out of here. So we've got a rubber band and all this. Let's just get all this off here and get it out of all this plastic. Oh, wow. All right, check this out. Look at that ACSS-APOLLO logo. Oh, look at these end caps. It has a cool little quick switch on here. The front's like normal. It's still easy to pop out. I like that a lot. All right, let's take a look at this windage and elevation turrets. Okay, oh, they have a good tactile feeling to them. So you're not just going to accidentally spin these around. So they're easy to put back to zero, so no problem there. Okay, no, they don't lift up and lock or anything, so they're just regular turn turrets. That's fine with me. That doesn't bother me at all. I kind of prefer this method personally. All right, let's see what we have on the other side. Okay, so we have our parallax. Okay, wow, that goes all the way down from 35. And then, okay, looks like it goes for 300, 500, then out to infinity, which I'd use for 1,000. For the illumination, you turn it on and off. Oh, and it feels really nice in the hand. We just need to install our battery in here. I need to get a tool to remove that, though. Let's take a look at these magnification turrets. It looks really nice. This thing's definitely dying for a throw lever. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's nice and smooth, but you got to put a little bit of force behind it, but it moves smoothly between the full range of rotation. Tell you what, though, let's go mount this thing and go try it out. This is going to be awesome. I tell you what, let's breeze through the mounting because I've probably shown this like 100 times already. We use the Primary Arms 30mm JLX scope mount, and as always, it performs wonderfully. Just remember, 25 inch-pounds on the top, 65 inch-pounds on the sides. I just use the wedges to make it level, quick and simple. Just remember to check the eye relief before torquing everything down. Seriously though, do it right, and take the time to get it set right. Now that we're all installed, let's dive into that reticle. I'm again reminded why Primary Arms is the industry leader in innovative reticle designs. That Raptor M2 reticle used to be my favorite, and it just got beat. And I promise that if you understand how to use it, you won't ever want a different reticle or optic for your 6.5 Creedmoor. So let's take a closer look at how cool this reticle is with our zombies. Now, zoom in a little bit more. So let's start with the center chevron. Instead of a 2 or 1 MOA dot, the chevron tip can be used to give you an unmatched target accuracy compared to a standard cross or dot. As you move outward, the mils are in 0.2 mil increments. This is done to give you a clear indication of bullet splash so you can readjust your fire without a ton of markings and hashes all garbaging up your view. The 2 to 3 mil area is marked in 0.1 mil increments for ranging estimation. We'll get to these cool guys in just a second. The entire top and horizontal reticle is in mil measurements, so it's easy to reference a position to another shooter or spotter that is using a mil reticle. The side of the reticle gives you both horizontal and vertical ranging that is extremely easy to use. Just place the line along the shoulders to determine the target distance. As you can see though, our target is turned slightly quartering away, so that may throw off our measurements just a bit. So let's check our work with the vertical ranging. Here, place the target so the feet rest along the reticle line, and then measure upward. Here, we can confirm the target was a bit further than 400 and is more like 450 yards. Now there's two different camps of shooting that we're going to explain here: turret rotation and holdover. Interestingly, this optic can do both, but most of them can only do turret rotation. So with the turret rotation method, we would then just crank on our turret so there were approximately 2 mils, just 20 clicks. Then we can engage our 450 yard target using the chevron tip and send our appreciation to the target. Or we can use holdover to send metal hugs and kisses faster with the amazing Apollo 6.5 BDC reticle. Let me show you. The Primary Arms Apollo 6.5 has a BDC with all the correct subtensions from 100 to 1,000 yards, eliminating the need to adjust the turret at all. But to make it work, you need to follow the instructions to set your zero properly, and then you can send your long-range love much faster. So let's look at the same situation using the Apollo 6.5 BDC. We use the same vertical and horizontal ranging to find our 450 yard target, but this time we just rapidly adjust to the 450 yard marking and send those warm kisses downrange. But we can take it up a level. We can also account for wind. So we also have the subtensions for 5, 10, 15, and 20 mile per hour winds. In this scenario, let's simulate a 15 mile an hour wind. But as you can see, that actually will cause a miss on our target, as we can see at the 15 mile an hour hash at 450 yards. So then we can actually use the hashes on the BDC to account and adjust for the wind. The Apollo reticle makes it easy for us to adjust for wind and then quickly send those love muffins with ease. So then the reticle itself becomes its own weapon system. You can range and then adjust for wind in like 1 second. But you may be saying, oh, this is great for human-sized targets, but it's not going to range for anything else. Not so. Those 0.1 mil markings we mentioned earlier are designed to be used for target ranging, and also included in the instructions is exactly how to range any target using the mil reticle measurements, giving you the ability to range any target with just a bit of simple math. So now that you've seen what the reticle can do, let's do some tests and then we'll hit the range and we'll see if we can turn this into a multi-target, multi-range, rapid engagement platform. So let's start with the magnification throw test. The magnification throw lever feels absolutely great. It's annoying to explain how something feels, but the magnification lever has just the right amount of resistance to move easily, but also not bounce around if it's bumped. I couldn't be happier with the feel of the magnification dial. The throw itself is only 90 degrees too, so it's very quick and easy to go from 6 times to 30 times magnification. I did add a throw lever, which makes it even more ridiculous, and I'm sure Joe will make fun of me about it. But the rapid magnification between each level is just the start of what makes this optic a multi-target, multi-range powerhouse. Now let's move on to the parallax test. Now in the parallax test, I like to see what is kind of the min and the max for parallax, if there's those shooters out there that enjoy doing those close range shots as much as those of us who like doing the long range shots. The parallax runs from 35 to infinity with about 90 degrees of throw. The 35-yard parallax is very impressive short distance for an optic of this magnification. The parallax has close range increments all the way up to 100, then quickly jumps up in magnification distances. I did find the parallax to be a little stiffer than I would prefer. You definitely had to get a good grip on it when you went to go rotate it. So next, let's go to the eye relief. The optic is so forgiving on eye relief that I was able to just place my Canon M50 next to it, and it kept a clear image through the entire magnification range, a feat that has not been possible on other optics above 25 magnification. The eye relief at 30 times magnification is expectedly a little bit tight, but I didn't have any issues. If you follow the instructions and set your eye relief using the maximum magnification, you won't have any issues. Next, let's take a look at the turrets and zero stop tests. For the turrets, I found the turrets to be extremely tactile and give a positive audible click when turned. This gives you an easy turret adjustment if you choose to use the turret adjustment method mentioned earlier. The turrets are not locking turrets, so be careful when slinging this rifle through the woods. You don't have to worry about it too much though, because you can take the caps off and then realign the zero to where your zero position is. And additionally, the primary arm's 6x30 Apollo is equipped with a zero stop on the actual cap. Just remove the cap with the 3 screws and loosen the screws on the zero stop. Rotate the zero stop until it is locked into position, and then reinstall your cap with the zero marker aligned at 0. Now you don't have to worry if your turret gets bumped or adjusted at all, just set it back to center. For the next test, let's take a look at the Illumination. The dial itself has a very nice level of resistance, just enough that you won't accidentally change it, but it's enough where you have to put a little bit of force behind turning the dial. The Illumination settings have a positive click to let you know you've engaged or disengaged the Illumination. The knob also has an off setting between all of the positions. This makes it much easier to turn the optic off or leave it at the brightness setting you prefer. The Illumination has 11 different settings that range from dim to very bright. One of the rare features you'll see here is it actually illuminates all parts of the reticle and not just the center cross. This means that you can still see those wind holds even when you're in a low light situation, which makes this optic even more insane. So for the turret tracking test, I kind of bumbled it, so this test is a bit of a failure, but it's my fault. In reality though, the optic's magic is in the holdover. I had to make so few adjustments that this isn't a test I would find all that useful thanks to the integrated BDC. So, sorry. Alright, let's get to a channel favorite, the glass clarity test. Now remember also, this is going to be at 30 times magnification. What I found insane is that with this optic, I could clearly see the tractor out at 930 yards. Hell, I could even make out the markings on the door that I couldn't see previously. The 600-yard target is massive within the scope, making for an insanely easy to see target. The glass clarity makes it stupid easy to see and track your targets. I don't know if you've noticed, but you can even see the individual bullet impacts on that 600-yard gong. That's nuts. The glass clarity of the primary arm's PLX 6x30 Apollo adds a target identification higher than anything I have ever seen before, and takes this optic just one step further into being an absolute powerhouse for target engagement. Alright, let's go ahead to the range. Now remember though, you kind of need to know where your velocity is in terms of aligning your BDC. If you have a 24-inch barrel, you can just zero at 600 if you're good enough to do that, and then the rest of the BDC will line up. But otherwise, you need to check with the chronograph to kind of see what your velocity is and then adjust your zero from there. So on our 20-inch setup, we'll do a 50-yard zero, which makes our 50 and 200 yards just within a couple mil from each other, which makes it even more fun. So let's see if this reticle performs how we think it will, and see if it turns this 6.5 into a ridiculous rapid engagement weapon system. All right, that reticle just makes it so easy. I'm not nearly that good or that fast at multi-target engagement at different ranges without that Apollo 6.5 reticle. All right, so let's go into the pros, cons, and do I recommend it? So for the first pro, the magnification and glass clarity. Those two things married together make this thing absolutely ridiculous. Not only can you see far out there, heck, I think I even reached out to 1,800 yards just to see how far this thing could reach and see clearly. And then combined with the ridiculous glass clarity, you have the ability to identify targets so far and at a level that I have not seen before. Next big pro, the short parallax and the magnification adjustment. It's just 90 degrees to go from 6 to 30. You can just go from max magnification down to 6 or vice versa extremely quickly. And then if you add a throw lever, it just becomes even more ridiculous. And combine that with the super short parallax, you can go down to 35 yards, which makes your 6X actually usable, because then you can actually engage targets at 35 yards because then your reticle and your optics aren't totally misaligned. My last pro, and probably the biggest of them all, that 6.5 Apollo reticle. The number of things you can do, from the horizontal ranging to the vertical ranging to any target ranging, the windage adjustments, all the BDCs out to 1,000. I found the reticle itself to be its own weapon system that transformed me into a better and faster shooter. So we all know you can't have pros without a con, and it's got a couple of them. My number one con is the parallax. The knob itself is a little tighter than I like, and I find that I kind of have to grip onto it and really get a good handle on the gun in order to adjust the parallax. So I wish that was a little bit looser. I probably could work it loose if I just turned it a bunch of times. The other con you're probably going to see if you follow the link to this product is definitely going to be the price. But I'm going to tell you right now, the quality and what you get for this is absolutely insane. I've not seen optics at this level, and that's not even talking about the reticle that then does multi-target, multi-range, rapid engagement, and just completely transforms the shooter. So there is a bit of a con on the price, but for what you get, it's absolutely worth it. So finally, do I recommend it? I absolutely do. I think you've seen here that it was able to transform even me as a shooter to do things I had never been able to do before. I think this is a phenomenal optic, and if you were to get this on your 6.5, you would be nothing but happy. I know they make it in a couple different magnification levels also, so I'd love to check out those also and see if they're just as crazy as this one is. So big thanks to Primary Arms for letting us check out this PLX 6x30 ACSS-APOLLO, 6.5 Creedmoor, and 224 Valkyrie. As always, thanks to all of our Patreon supporters. You're what makes this channel possible. And I want to hear from all of you that like, comment, and subscribe. I want to hear what craziness you could do with this reticle. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. Walsh out. Makes it easy for us to then... The Apollo...